So I just dropped a little movie. Oh, there's Sue's tea. Very good. Well, everybody's got her tea. Um, it's kind of a recap of what what does it say? Uh
A
love.
potion. Relax.
There you go. And Sue is an herbalist as well. She comes from Saskatchewan, Canada, and her and I are in another herb group together. We That's our learning. That's where we learn about herbs with Carol Little. So Carol, if you're watching this, hi, we're remembering you, herb gals. They're herb gals. So if you read my newsletters, and I have the monthly themes that I work off of. So at the end of the month, the last Sunday of every month is kind of a recap of the herbs that I talk about in the podcast and on the YouTube video. So the video dropped this afternoon. I think it dropped around 12. So and then this will be replayed also in the live live workshop playlist. So for those of you who are not are watching this in the future, just know that that's what it is. And who the heck am I? I'm Brenda Sullivan, and I am an herbalist. I am here in Connecticut. I also have an herb. I just purchased property in Vermont. I have 15 acres, and I'm in the process of moving the farm, Thompson Street Farm, which is the legal LLC that owns the New England Herbary, up to Vermont. So there's a lot of planning, there's a lot of prep going on, but during the winters, I come back down to Connecticut and I teach locally and I do webinars online. I also have some online classes. So if you're not following me, if you don't have my newsletter, obviously you guys have newsletters because that's how you knew that that I'm doing this workshop today. So let's get started. Let me get my screen ready here. So today's topic is on growing light, the growing light, herbs, moon cycles, and Aquarian beginnings. Now, how I got into all of this light and sun and all this stuff is as a farmer. I had read Elliot Coleman's book, The Winter Harvest, and he is a gentleman. He's, I believe, in his 80s now. He's not a young pup anymore. He was teaching people how to grow. He's up in Maine, near Bar Harbor area, and he's definitely a person that goes back to the land movement. He was a disciple of the Nearings, who were huge in the 70s, 60s, 70s. They were in Vermont, and then they ended up moving up to the Bar Harbor area, and Elliot ended up living down the street from him, from the Nearings. And so he was very much teaching gardeners um, the value of sunlight. And when it starts to when you have enough light in a day where you can start growing things in a greenhouse. And right now, as of February 1st, we will have 10 hours of daylight. And so if you are a grower, you can start looking if you have a greenhouse, a winter greenhouse, or Dutch lights, he calls them, or cold frames is another term for them. That's how I got in. And I've been doing this for decades. And so now I'm kind of moving this metaphorically into the herb cycles and life cycles of our daily lives. And the moon is another huge instrument in our daily lives that a lot of people, I find, don't realize how much the gravitational pull of the moon affects our bodies. So that's I'm hoping this all kind of makes sense by the time I'm done here. So, as usual, is my legal disclaimer. Again, this is for informational purposes only. If you have questions about your health, you need to contact a healthcare provider. I am not a healthcare professional. Okay, so what is stirring in you? What feels like it's stirring for you right now? And where do you feel a little more breath or space than you did a month ago? Um, so um, I want to know, I want to point out that there is a difference between growth and expansion. Expansion doesn't necessarily mean acceleration. Okay. So when we talk about living fast or living large, I know the business world considers growth to be lightning speed, get, many hits as you can online, so many touches, things like that. But we can still be expanding and growing at the same time, but at a slower rate. We can still be opening and still be moving, but still be resting at the same time. You can be moving forward and still be taking your time. So it's can be invisible, but it can be active, and it's energy building towards fullness. So the waxing moon is an expansion energy. We're building up towards the full moon. So right now, we have a sliver of light that is just after the new moon. It is subtle. You might not even notice it in the sky, but energetically, this is a really powerful time. Um, the waxing crescent is the phase where growth is invisible but active. Okay, so seeds are germinating literally in underground, but also metaphorically in our minds, in our hearts. The intentions that we have are taking root. Energy is quietly building towards the full moon, but we're not quite there yet. We're in the early stages of expansion. So, this is a time for gardeners to be choosing your seeds. What do you want to tend? This is the time of preparation. You want to voice your intentions. What are you naming out loud? Uh, because once you name them, it becomes real. What are you opening to receive with support? Again, we're a collective, we're a group of people. You don't have to do this alone. Um, this is not a time to force yourself or to hurry, but it's a time to nourish what's beginning. Again, we're building momentum, just like the energy of the moon. The tides rise and fall. The water is very much affected here on planet by the moon. So is the water in our systems. It's right. It's our bodies. In fact, the entire planet is expanding and contracting with the gravitational pull of the moon. So we're building momentum right now as the full moon is going to be on February 1st. So waxing crescent practices, again, name what's to be said out loud, nourish rather than stimulate, allow, steady, build. Again, expansion doesn't mean acceleration. Okay. So also on February 1st is Imbolc. Imbolc is a Celtic tradition that's thousands of years old. And so when we talk about, because I'm of Irish, Scottish heritage and Swedish, I tend to follow the wheel of the year, which is do I have a book? I have this book here. This is the Herbal Year. Oops. Camera just fell. I also have the wheel. As a farmer, I follow the seasons of the year, and it just so happens to fit very nicely with the Celtic season. So Imbolc is a halfway point between the winter solstice and the summer solstice, or spring solstice. And it is the returning fire returning. It's the light. It's when you have 10 days of a daylight yet. Of course, back in the Celtic times, they didn't have clocks. They just watched the sun. That was their trigger. So again, there's three elements. Yeah, they're also watching Mother Nature. They're watching the milk flow. Babies, their lambs, their cows are all having babies. Mother Nature knows instinctively what to do on its own because it too, the earth is reacting to the light and the moon, and it's, as it spins around the sun. Warmth, when the land becomes warm, we start to have flowers. Things start to come alive. The seeds are germinating. So we also have Aquarius season, and this is the water bearer. Aquarius, we always, sometimes I know that I've done this in the past. I often think of Aquarius as a water element. It is not. It is actually an air element. And the image of the water bearer is this: she's pouring knowledge onto Earth. This is a global, this is where you want to expand your knowledge to the world. You've heard the song, it's the Age of Aquarius. I forget the group. That those of you who know that group, I forget who the group is, but this is where we share the knowledge. It's a collective knowledge.
It's the fifth dimension, Brenda.
Is it the fifth dimension?
Yeah,
Thank you.
you
Sorry.
bet it is. No coincidences.
Yeah. So let me just check the chat here for a minute. Yes, fifth dimension. Thank you, ladies. So yes, so it's the age of the group. It's the age of the community. Okay, we're all sharing collectively, and so Aquarius is the air, the vision, the collective wisdom, um, and it comes before Pisces. So Aquarius falls between. It comes after Capricorn. Capricorn is the Earth is Earth. Capricorn is very is the reason why after the Christmas we want to get organized. We want to we had all the hub and bub of the Sagittarius into the festive swinging by the chandelier Christmas holiday, and then after Christmas it's like the energy leaves. Well, that's because we're an earth energy. We become grounded. We want to, Capricorns are very fastidious about organizations, about building foundations. And so we just left Capricorn season. So now if you've been paying attention, you've built your foundation. You've organized yourself. You are paying attention. And now Aquarius it's time, it's air. Now it's time to share what you've been building in Capricorn season. And then Pisces is the end of the zodiac season. There's 12 signs, and we start all over again in Aries, which is a fire sign. So Pisces is the last zodiac of the wheel. It is the release. It is usually the 12th house, where we just kind of ta-da, we've been born, and now we kind of die. We kind of let go of everything, and then we're reborn again in the fire of Aries, and it's a young flame. It's a Capricorn is an older flame, a fire sign. It's very wise. It's very intuitive. It's very grounding. And then we have Aries, which is the baby flame, and we go through the whole year. I'm hoping this kind of makes sense with you guys. It's the vision beyond survival, okay? So Aquarius also brings clarity, and it cuts through the fog. It's spacious thinking. It's out thinking outside the box, thinking of the bigger picture. It's the collective wisdom. It's all of us. That's why elders, it's so important that we seek out elders at this time, because it is the collective wisdom that makes us a society, a functioning society, a loving society. It's the vision beyond survival. We've made it through the hardest part of the winter. Now we have space to think, to dream, and ask what truly we want. Any questions? Okay. So Aquarius in winter is the air, obviously it's the air sign. It governs breath, circulation, mind, clarity, vision, spacious thinking, the collective, our connection to others, community, to shared wisdom. Now, anatomically, Aquarius is ruler of our shins, and ankles. So if you are an Aquarius, if that's your sun sign, those are the areas of your body that you may want to kind of be aware if you don't already have ankle problems or shin issues. But that's usually the area of the body the Aquarius rules. It also governs the realm of thought, breath, connection. You know, and it's the thing about air in winter is that it needs support. Winter air can be dry, cold, stagnant. Our breath can become shallow. Our minds can feel foggy and stuck. Our sense of connection can feel distant. This is one of the reasons why, you have seasonal so depression, associative depression disorder. It's very depression is chronic during the long winter months, especially in the northern countries when you don't see daylight for 3 months. A lot of issues with depression happen in northern climates. And so we need to be able to support our bodies during this time. Okay, let me just check to see. Oh, we got a new chat. Let's see. Yes, seasonal affective disorder. Thank you. All right. So we have 3 herbs that I wanted to talk about. Okay, so we had 3 herbs that I picked that I thought would be suitable for this time of year. We have linden, which is softening and heart and breath. We have milky oats, which is nourishment and endurance. And we have hyssop, which is clearing and clarity. Okay, our first one is hyssop.
Which hyssop are you talking about? This is the one that doesn't have a lot of scent.
Yeah, I'm this is the one off of this is the only one I know of. Is there another one?
Yeah, there's another one that is licoricey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it Hyssop officialis?
No, it has a different name.
Yeah. Do I have the wrong image?
Mm, I don't know. I don't grow hyssop.
So this is what I grew in the garden. It's mint herb,
This has kind of
culinary,
tiny
medicinal,
flowers.
ornamental. That's the one that I have. Of
I
Hyssop
believe Barbara
offic-
put a name in the chat. I don't know if it's part of the.
Agastache, that's it. Agastache is the other one.
Oh, I'm not familiar with that one. I only grew this one.
So yours wasn't licoricey, Brenda?
No,
Yeah.
a little bit, not much. I don't know. My
Yeah.
husband grew it. It was,
Mm.
and I would just go out and clip it. And he'd get mad because I wasn't supposed to touch his flowers. That was a big thing with him. And when I found out that, when he found out that a lot of the flowers that he was planting in the front yard were medicinal, he got mad at me because I'd come in and take his cuttings. But this is the one that I'm most familiar with. I'll have to look into the other one. But anyway, this is the one I most know. I'm most familiar with. So, hyssop obviously it's a Mediterranean herb. It has a long history in spiritual and respiratory health. It's mentioned in the Bible as a clearing herb. It's been used for centuries to clear stagnant energy in the body and in space. It's warming and drying and clarifying. And it is also a nervine. A nervine is a class of herbs that helps you calm down. It's sort of like an antidepressant, but it's non-addictive, non-sleepy, doesn't make you sleepy. It just kind of takes the edge off. And it's a great herb just to kind of like, but I'm suggesting that this be a morning herb just to clear out the morning crud. So the hyssops in winter, again, it clears stagnant air and sinuses and thoughts and supports respiratory health, and it's energetic, it's clearing. So again, if you have sinus issues because it's so dry in your house, I have a problem with sinuses, especially during the winter, especially in forced hot air environments. Um, so I have a problem. So I have to either have to have a humidifier going, and I have to drink a ton of teas. And so if you are having problems with your sinuses or upper respiratory issues, having a cup of tea in the morning would be a great way to get that stuff moving. Let's see here. So the waxing, how hyssop and the waxing crescent, and in context, the waxing crescent in Aquarius, it clears space for intention. So before you can choose your seeds, you can clear the ground. So, and this is also metaphorically. So you clear space. It just kind of helps clear the decks. It supports vision and discernment. Aquarius asks us what matters. Hyssop helps us see clearly what matters to you. And I would recommend that you write it down. What's important to you? Now, what is it that you want? Either today or tomorrow or for the year. Again, identify what you want in life. Identify what you want to do.
What does it taste like, Brenda?
It has, well, depending on, Sue pointed out that it can taste like a licoricey taste to it.
I don't get that at all.
It's a very slight, it's not like licorice root. Um,
To
but
me,
yeah,
it's kind
it's
of
just,
musky.
I don't get that. To me, it tastes like another mint. It's not as strong. Again,
Yeah, it's
it's
not
different.
very strong.
Yeah,
It could be where it's grown too, Brenda.
yeah. I mean, it's very faint. Some people will say it
Mhm.
tastes like drinking weeds, but I don't think it's that. It's a mint family, so you're going to get a little mentholy taste to it. Um, so Yeah, maybe we should do a tea tasting. Everybody go out and get a little thing of hyssop and try it.
I took some seeds from one of the city parks
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm gonna plant them.
Yeah, I don't have hyssop anymore. So I didn't have any in stock. I would have made some this afternoon. I have linden, but I didn't make that either. Linden is an interesting herb, but we're going to talk about that later. Okay, so for hyssop, just take a teaspoon of dried herb and steep it for 10 minutes and drink it in the morning. So it's that simple. It's what they call a tisane. Now, I wouldn't say you would drink this a lot. I mean, because sometimes herbs can be toxic to your kidneys and liver. So, hyssop is one of those herbs where, if you drink it as a tea, as a food, you're fine. But if you start taking in other forms like capsules or powdered or more in increased doses, you're going to end up having a little bit of toxicity, and it's not appropriate for women who are pregnant. So I just want to make sure that let you guys know that when they say safely, a lot of women who are pregnant or breastfeeding should not be drinking this. Okay, our next one is Milky Oats. Oops. I love Milky Oats. I just go past it? No. Okay. So, I grew a lot of this and I drink a lot of this. Milky Oats. Obviously, you know what oat straw is. We have 4K. Let me check my chat. Yes, morning crud. Yes, we get a lot of that. Okay, so Milky Oats. What is Milky Oats? Is an oat. It's this oat on the plant, just like rolled oats. It's just the green thing that's been put through a roll or grouts that have been smashed. Excuse me. Milky Oats is harvested when the kernel is green, and if you squeeze it, a little bit of milky liquid comes out of the corn of the green husk, whatever you call that thing, kernel. And it is incredibly medicinal. So I grew a lot of green oats, and I would take a blueberry harvester, wild blueberry harvester, and I'd go out there and I would harvest my Milky Oats right at peak, and then I would just let them dry. And they are incredibly nourishing. They're nutritive. Now, nutritives another class of herb that are high in minerals, and I usually like to have a morning herb that kind of gets you moving. Then in the afternoon, you have a nutritive herb, whether it be nettles, milky oats, and there's a bunch of other different nutritive herbs that help. You want your endurance doesn't necessarily happen outside your body, it happens inside as well. So when we want to nurture our bodies and restore them, a nutritive herb is the perfect way of doing that, because it has our levels of psyllium. It has all kind. I didn't write it down, so I forget what the nutrients are. Magnesium as well. So this is just a really good way to. I have this with my lunch. It also has a great calming effect to it. So it helps with burnout. It helps, the long middle support, and it rebuilds reserves. So having this on a daily basis is perfect. And it's not, again, it doesn't, it's light, there's very little taste. I mean, Sue, have you had Milky Oats?
So I just wanted to clarify because I was so confused about what Milky Oats are.
Mm-hmm.
So they are green and they need to be processed like as soon as you pick them
Yes.
because what you're getting is you're getting that green milk out
Yep.
of them. So if they dry for a day, they're no longer Milky Oats. So the Milky Oats are nervine.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, they're just nutritive if they dry. Because I was really confused about that
Mm-hmm.
because even some herbalists I know were calling the dried oats Milky Oats,
Mm-hmm.
and they're not. But the Milky Oats, I made them fresh,
Mm-hmm.
got some from an herbalist friend, and they made me hyper. But you know me, I'm very sensitive.
Yeah.
And they're not calming for me, but that's kind of normal for me to take Nervines and get hyper. So
Wow. Wow. I didn't know that. Now, I love the oats, the Milky Oats, I still use my own. I have them dried. I do use them fresh, green. If you can, it's just easier to grow them yourself. Because if you buy them from the store, as Sue says, they're going to be dried. They're not, the milk's going to be gone. But they're still they're still nutritive, they're still nourishing, and it's like a food. You can, this is the, I think it's better than taking vitamins. Is you when you introduce nutritive herbs into your daily life, daily menu.
they're super fun to make. Because when I made my Milky Oats, I put them in one of those bullet blenders. To me, they're very sexy. Because as soon as you turn on the blender, they absolutely explode with this like almost fluorescent green color.
Do you
So
grind yours? Really? I
yeah.
don't grind mine. That's new one on me.
Oh, so much fun. You got to try it. It's an experience for
And then what
sure.
do you do with the powder?
No, there's no powder. Like Milky Oats are just juicy, right? So you pick them, you put them in your blender right away, and they explode with liquid. Green,
Okay,
green
got it,
liquid.
got it, got it. No,
And then,
I just
yeah,
made
and
it.
then you add your alcohol to tincture it.
Oh, well, you're taking it one step further. I just make decoctions. I'm simple girl. I am a simple girl. I'll have to try that when they grow again. When I grow them
Because you
again.
have to capture that. So you have to
Yeah,
preserve that in alcohol.
I never made a tincture out of the Milky Oats. I just used them
Yeah.
green and then dried them for later.
Yeah.
Interesting. Huh.
Super fun.
Yeah. Okay. Learn something new every day, everybody. And that's what's great when you have fellow herbalists in the group with you. You learn what they're doing. And there's no right or wrong way. It's just you just learning different ways from different areas of the world. Okay, so the oats and the winter crescent. Again, it sustains growth over time, prevents depletion during expansions. Because as we know, we're heading towards the full moon. Okay. And the full moon really disrupts life here on Earth. You'll notice maybe, I don't know, I'm starting to notice that I'm not sleeping through the night right now, that I'm starting to have those crazy disruptive thoughts. That's because we're building up towards the full moon. And what I need to do is remember that I need to, before bed, I need to take some kind of herb to calm that monkey brain down, to help me kind of like fall asleep. I know that right now what's going on in the world is very upsetting for many. It's upsetting for me personally. So and then we're leading up towards the full moon. And if you're a woman and if you haven't entered into the lovely stage of menopause, um, you are also dealing with all your moon cycles. And those for you of us who have already gone through menopause, those still, some of those symptoms are still PMS system symptoms are still there, and but they're not as pronounced as they are, as they used to be. But these are all ways that you can combat to just kind of like help your body over the hump. Just moving through the energy as it builds to the full moon. You don't need another drug. You just need to learn how to use the herbs. Okay, so as Sue and I were just talking, we have the daily tonic, which this is actually my image. This is me making my own Milky Oat or oats. I guess it's not milky because they're dried. Remember, you're not going to get unless you harvest them green, you're not going to get the milk out of them. I use them dried. I buy them dried as well if I don't have any left of my out of my own garden. Again, it's support for anxiety and fatigue. And I will make a quart jar in the day. I'll set up 4 teas for 4 different times of my day. I have my morning get going tea. I have my nutritive herb that decoction or tonic that I drink in the midday for my lunch. And then at night, I have my relaxing, take the edge off. I am on a mission. I think everybody in the world should stop at 4 p.m. Wherever you are and have a cup of tea. Just chill out and have a cup of tea. I'm going to check the chat, so hang on just a second. See, we got 5 comments. Yes, Sue says long-term oats is fine. Long-term use. Is the milky before the growth formation? Yes. It's so you go out and you find, Barbara, when you look at the oat, you squeeze it, okay? And you see whether it turns, if it's milky, you'll know. You just keep going out there. You don't want it to turn into oats. You don't want it to mature into a full oat. So you got to watch it when you're growing it on your own. If it turns into actual wheat then, or an oat stock, you've gone too far.
I harvested some from my friend in September last year, and we're way up north. So yeah, just so people know like the timing. It doesn't have to be like in the spring necessarily.
Yes, that's true. So this is where do you buy the seeds? So wherever you are, you want to buy organic oats. So you just go to let's see, what do we have? You got Johnny Seeds. I don't know. Where are you located, Barbara? Give me a region of the world that you're from. Are you from the East Coast, West Coast? Oh, okay. Edge of the woods in New Haven. Okay, so you could either go to I don't know if you come up to Weathersfield, but Comstock Ferry. They have all kinds of seeds. I think it's the Heirloom Market, Comstock Ferry Heirloom Market. If you want to find organic or non-GMO seeds, they're the ones that have it. If you want a mail order, I do a lot with Johnny Seeds. I really like Johnny Seeds. They're based out of Maine. Sue, you're in Canada. Where can people buy organic seeds in Canada?
Um, well, I'm going to be a bit liberal here, or maybe conservative. I don't know what it is. I'm a little dyslexic sometimes, but organic seeds are kind of a misnomer. It doesn't really matter if you're getting organic or non-organic. Like I took a master gardener course. Like if there's anything on those seeds, like it will not affect anything. So
Yeah.
I would say you can get oat seeds wherever you want to get them.
Yeah, I just don't want them to be GMO. I have a thing with GMO.
Yeah. Well, and just remember GMO includes regular cultivation of plants.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a broad term.
But you can still ingest the pesticides, right? Yeah, you can. That's why you don't want to spray. So,
Like you don't want to eat the plant if it's, been sprayed. But for growing seeds, it really doesn't matter, is what
uh,
I'm saying.
uh,
And Saskatchewan is one of the biggest oat producers in the world.
mhm,
Like they provide for General Mills and all over the place, like Cheerios and yeah.
yeah. Well, I don't buy them either. So, yeah, so just, you know, do your thing and I prefer yeah. Okay. So, I'm just sorry guys. I'm just checking making sure that everything's set. Okay. So, yeah, y- go organic if you can. There's, debate to be said, but I just have a thing with genetically modified seeds because it does change over time. Um, at least for me, that's how I became allergic to milk, dairy milk, is because they changed the feed in the cows. Um, where's Comstock? It's on Main Street in Weathersfield. So if you Google Comstock Ferry or Heirloom, it's also known as the Heirloom Market. It's a little cafe now, but if you behind in the corner, it's owned by Rare Seeds, which produces um, the seeds, their seeds. What is it? Rare Seeds. Baker Creek Heirloom Seeds. So there you can buy them there. There's also look around. Yeah. So Baker Creek owns Comstock and Heirloom Market. Okay, Linden energetics. Linden is a beautiful herb. It's flowers. I've I don't remember if there was anything dramatic about Linden. I don't know, Sue. It's a light flavor to it. I can't put I don't know how to explain it. It's cooling, it's moistening, it's gentle, it's relaxing, it's great for the nervous system, the heart. So again, with all the stuff that is going on in the world, um, I think this is why I'm absolutely an advocate for 4 o'clock tea. It's just we just need a time out, in our day where we can just thank you, Heather, appreciate it. Where we can take a time out and just catch our breath. And linden is another perfect one of those perfect herbs.
It's
It takes.
quite bitter.
You think it's bitter?
Yeah, it's quite bitter. So I usually only put a couple of flowers in like a
Really?
liter.
I don't find it bitter.
Maybe it's just bitter in Saskatchewan.
I don't know. Because I put it in another tea of mine, and it's not. It's fine. I don't taste it. Maybe our taste buds are off, Sue. They're just different. Um, so Linden softens tension, the kind we carry in our chest and our shoulders and our jaw. If you tend to clench your jaw, I tend to do that when I'm not even realizing it. Um, he eases grief and emotional holding. Again, winter can be heavy. You know, the world world events can be heavy. And Linden helps soften those edges and just kind of gives us a break from everything. And that's the most important part of takeaway that I want you to have with Linden is that it just gives us the break that we need. So if you're using your nutritive herb in the middle of the day, you're building foundations. Okay. In the morning, your morning herbal tea is to get you going, is to wake you up, to clear the head, clear the sinuses, get you warmed up. And then the nutritive herb in the afternoon or at lunchtime. Again, you're tending to your internal hearth fire. You're building, you're keeping yourself moving. You're just nurturing your soul, your heart, your whole body. And then in the afternoon, you're giving your emotional central nervous system a break. 4 o'clock afternoon tea, just giving everything a rest because your body needs it. We cannot be going 90 miles an hour, the hair on fire every day. You know, that's how we get sick. That's how we have, burnout, mental breakdowns. Um, I think the world would be so much better if we could just all take a step back
Mm.
and have a cup of tea. Okay, Linden in the waxing crescent phase is, supports openness, supports expansion. It keeps growth gentle. Again, we're not a rocket. If people in the business world, I mean, if you are so on fire, you have to be on top, on task, doing 1,000 things at once, multitasking. I mean, you no wonder we're all falling apart. No wonder we're having mental breakdowns. No wonder we're having, the biggest crisis of obesity, Alzheimer's. It's too much. Our bodies can't take it, and then it doesn't help the fact that our food. Barbara says, totally agree. It will calm Aries energy. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. If you have excess fire, oops, if you have excess fire in your chart, and again, this I do consulting, where I'll look at your astrological chart and I'll look at where all the energy is, and it all corresponds with your body. And if you have like I have excess water, very emotional. I feel everything. So, and I lack earth and I lack fire. I have some fire, but not a lot. And I have very little earth. So again, being a Gemini moon, my internal dialogue is loud. It's very loud. I am constantly chattering to myself. And then the fact that I'm a Scorpio sun, and then most of my main planets, personal planets, are in water signs, things get a little murky. I can go deep really quick, and sometimes I don't come back up. And so, understanding the cycle of the earth and the moon and how it affects me physically is really important. And I'm hoping that this will all is making sense. So here's the how the herbs work together. And I'm hoping this really is making sense for you guys. The hyssop clears the energy, gets you moving. The oats are nourishing, they're helping you stay grounded. They are helping you build foundations, giving you those minerals, those vitamins and minerals that we don't normally get from our regular fruits and vegetables because the soil has been depleted. And then we move to Linden, where we can open our minds and relax and give our central nervous system a break. And then you combine that with the movement of the moons, just know that after a new moon, we are waxing, wax on. Remember that movie, Wax On, Wax Off, Mr. Miyagi and what is it, the Karate Kid, wax
Yeah.
on, wax off. So as we're waxing, as the moon is waxing towards a full moon, we are building energy, and it does disrupt our sleep. It does affect our mental health. If you are a mental health professional who's worked in a hospital, I have worked in convalescent homes, things go nuts around the full moon. There are lots of EMS people, emergency room people, nurses that will say that things get crazy around a full moon. And the full moon just doesn't, that energy isn't there just for one day. It's there building up. It's there before the day before, and it's there the day after. So you'll sometimes have 3 days of this intense energy. And depending on where the moon is located and whether it's close, you have a super moon where it's really close to the Earth's atmosphere and it's really pulling the Earth out. I mean, do NASA. I mean, research, Google all this stuff. I'm not talking crazy talk here. We don't call our moon cycles, our periods, moon cycles for nothing. And I am convinced, having taken care of my daughter, her seizures always seem to increase around a full moon. It's just nuts. The crazy stuff that happens. And I'm on a mission, guys. I want to tell people how they can hack their health for the better, so they can adjust and understand that they're not going crazy. Okay. So 1 cup of tea in the morning. You name your intention. You have one small supportive action. We don't have to do anything. We just tend to what matters. Okay. So the question for you guys is, what feels clearer for you now and what feels supported? Anybody want to share?
Well, I'm going to try Linden again
Yeah.
because I can't do Hawthorne.
Yeah.
Maybe Linden will be gentler for me.
I like Hawthorne. That's what I'm drinking. That's what's in here is Hawthorne and a couple of roses. Roses is great. Rose hips. Anybody else?
I'll share. This is Heather. I like the idea of resting. If that was offered in your talk, resting and drinking the tea more often. I'm not feeling well this weekend. I felt it coming on. So I think that I could use the sinus. I think I could use the first two tied together.
Yeah.
And nurturing more. I drink tea. I do love tea, but I don't really go into I don't go lean in as much as I should to the tea because I love my mushroom.
Mhm.
My mushroom, I drink chai mushroom and I do everything mushroom, but I can see that I need things that loosen me up a little bit. I was hanging
Yeah, the
around.
mushrooms are not going to do that for you. They're
Yeah.
gonna help build immune support, but they're not going to. Again, if you have congestion, time. I think I mentioned. I texted you about the time.
Yeah, I'll have to look and see if I have time. I don't know. I taught my grandbaby how to clean my my where I keep my herbs, and I have a feeling he dumped almost all of them. So
Oops.
I'll go check though. Time you can just make thyme and boil water and put it in a little thing. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah. But
Or
thank you. No, very
just
most
pour it in a mason jar and then strain the herbs off. You don't have to
uh,
put it in a little, you don't have to be fussy. You don't have to get a little glass teapot. Just, pour it in a bowl if you have to and just strain it off with that.
yeah, I'll go check it, take a peek. Yeah. Thank you. It was all very
Doesn't have to be
good.
complicated.
Mm.
Anybody else? So, as a blessing for the waxing light, may you tend the flame that is returning. May you soften around what is stirring. May you nourish the seeds you are choosing. May you clear space for what wants to grow. And may you trust the light even when it's still just a sliver in the winter sky. All right, I will stop sharing. All right, ladies. Welcome, LeConte. I don't think we met, so thank you for coming. Just let me check the chat. Oh, you want the poem? I'll put it in the Barbara, do you subscribe to my newsletter, right? Any questions that you have?
I just love your sessions, and
Thank you,
I
Sue.
love meeting the ladies who come. Like, this is
Thank
just such
you.
a wonderful time always.
Well, thank you. I appreciate your coming and support, and hopefully the one thing that you walk away this afternoon is that when you're not feeling well or you're overwhelmed, think about tea. What can you give yourself? How can you help yourself? And I'm hoping the first thing you think about is an herb. What herbs have we talked about that you can reach for? Let's see here. I want to share.
Oh, that was really good, Brenda. I love that.
Um, okay, here's the link. And my goal is to have one a week. And then at the end of the month, we kind of go through, I talk about the highlights of the herbs and what they all mean. Thank you, Barbara. So yeah, just again, it's another way. I just decided things are too crazy in our world, and I just wanted people to give a chance to just step off and find ways to nurture themselves, to help themselves, to just
Mhm.
take a break and take a breath. And I've been making these videos is so much fun, and it is giving me a break mentally. It's
Just
so hard.
love. Just love.
This is the water energy that you ladies are hearing, okay? This is why I'm so into the elements, okay? This is all the Scorpio, all the planet Mercury, Neptune's in Scorpio too. So this is all so now you understand, okay? Just
Just love.
oh,
Yes, sending
Just
lots of
flow with love.
all right.
yeah, sending lots of love to everybody.
All
Gonna
right, ladies.
go do a
That's
passive snow shuffling. God
yes.
bless. Thank you.
All right.
God bless.
Thank you for coming.
Bye.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Thank
you.
It's
you.
great.
We'll see
Thank
you
you.
later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.